Hello and welcome to Matrix Live. Today we're talking with Amandine because the big news this week is that the Matrix.org Foundation has its first public sector organization member, Gematik. So Amandine, bonjour.
Bonjour. We said
Gematik,
we wouldn't do this in French, but it was tempting, to be honest.
it was something, but it would probably be a bit hard to understand for everyone.
Yeah, of course, I'm joking. We should have done it in German instead. Much worse.
Much worse indeed. So Gematik is probably well known by a German audience, and especially by Heise readers who could read about it yesterday on Thursday, but not necessarily by the rest of the world. So can you tell us who or what Gematik is?
So Gematik is basically the German digital healthcare agency. It means that they control the kind of standards that are used by the healthcare industry in Germany. And one of them that they have created is called TI Messenger and is entirely based on Matrix and determined that every single communication within the healthcare ecosystem should be using TI Messenger, which means it needs to be decentralized and end-to-end encrypted all the time. So they've announced that they were moving to Matrix for this, so mandating Matrix for this. I think it was in 2021. I should have double checked before this. And since there has been a lot of work going on in terms of what are the specificities for TI Messenger compared to Matrix, and there are basically some small bits of definitions which are different, but it's to be adapted to the German healthcare market. But otherwise, it's mostly Matrix underneath. So basically, that means that at some point, we expect all the 150,000, how do you say, companies which are part of the industry to use Matrix to communicate, but also all 83 million German citizens who will need to communicate with their hospital and their doctors and their pharmacies and their insurance, and all these communications will be using Matrix underneath. So it was really a big news at the time, and it's still very exciting, and the progress is moving forward, and looking forward to see where it goes.
All right. So with Gematik using or building on top of Matrix, it makes a lot of sense for them to join the Matrix.org Foundation. But do you know what specifically they're expecting from the foundation when they join?
Well, the main thing is really to support the project on top of which that they're building. So they've chosen an open source project, and now they need to make sure that it moves forward, and they want to help it move forward and make sure that it has the resources it needs to evolve, basically.
All right. But does it make sense for them to join the Matrix.org Foundation if they can buy services from vendors like Elementor Nordic, who are pretty involved in the Matrix ecosystem?
Yes, because basically, if they were working with a vendor, they have no guarantee that their work is going to fund the baseline open source. So they will buy services provided by one of the vendors, and that's it. By funding directly the foundation, it's directly the project which they're empowering and supporting.
So you've been talking about guarantees. So in this context, you mean guarantee that the vendor is going to contribute to Matrix.
Yeah.
Does it mean that the Matrix Foundation sells support or guarantees of any kind?
No, so the foundation is not selling anything. It's just putting together the standard and making sure that it's going into the right direction, and it's not going to develop any code. The implementations are still being contributed by different organizations and individuals. And if you want to buy support, you will have to go to a specific Matrix vendor for that.
All right, so not to sound too greedy, but you're telling me that an organization could want to both pay a vendor for services and contribute financially to the foundation as well?
Yes, because they get different things out of it, and they can support the ecosystem, but also may need some help in running their Matrix deployments.
All right, so you don't get the same thing from the foundation and a vendor. Another question I have is that would it make sense to have several public services from the same country to join the Matrix Foundation if they are both building on Matrix?
Yes, because it means everyone is pulling the resources together and pushing into the same direction. So anyone who is building on Matrix ideally would help and chip in to support the project. And the more people chip in, then the cheaper it becomes or the faster the project moves, because it's like sharing the support across the board. So it would make total sense to have individual organizations, even if they come from the same country, to be part of the foundation.
All right, so as always, open source is mostly about making a single entity's problem the problem of various entities to reduce the cost of maintenance and evolution. Is there anything we forgot to cover?
I don't think so. It's really exciting to have all these people actually step in and become official members of the foundation, and showing that they actually support the projects. It's really fun to see the different angles to it between Beeper and Gematik, for example. It's completely different use cases, but although I guess both of them are. Well, Gematik is not building on top; it's using it and proposing it to others, whilst Beeper has a full for-profit project built on top of it. But so it's great to see the support coming together eventually. So we're looking forward to all the new members joining us, hopefully shortly, and to grow the group here.
All right, in that case, we can wrap up. Thank you very much, Amandine, and I'll see you next week, Matrix Live.
Thank you. Bye.